takes 30 seconds to... All right, check, check. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2.
Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
A wild weekend in Marquette at the Superior Dome, and some fantastic finishes in Battle Creek. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Trailing by 12 with just over 1 minute remaining in the Division I 8-player football championship game, the odds of Martin pulling off a comeback against Inland Lakes were not very good. But then Gavin Myers threw a touchdown pass to Tegan Harris. Next, Martin recovered an onside kick. And with just 5 seconds to go,
now Branch moves over to the right side as well. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Myers looks, pressure comes. He's going to go up the middle. Keeps it on the right side of the 5. Dives for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Martin, with 5 seconds to go. The Clippers have completed the comeback.
That was Matt Chapkus of the MHSAA Championship Radio Network on the call as Myers ran it in from 21 yards out to give Martin a 30-26 win and a state title. In Division II, Adrian Lenawee Christian capped a perfect 13-0 season with a 36-18 win over Marion. Easton Boggs hauled in 9 passes for 210 yards and 3 scores for the Cougars. Quarterback Sam Lutz threw for 350 yards and he added 2 rushing touchdowns. Marion finishes a fantastic season at 11-1. The Eagles put up more than 50 points per game on average this year. For more on both of the 8-player championship games, check out MHSAA.com. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, in the Lower Peninsula Girls Swim and Dive Championships, Ann Arbor Pioneer captured the title in Division I. It is the school's 4th straight D1 championship. In Division II, Farmington Hills Mercy is your champion. Mercy won by more than 125 points and captured the school's first swimming and diving title since 2019. And the final game ball goes to East Grand Rapids in Division III as they captured their 7th championship in girls swim and dive in the last 8 years.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
For the second consecutive season, coaches will have the ability to challenge plays during the 11-player football finals. All potential scoring and turnover plays will continue to be automatically reviewed. But again this year, coaches will be allowed to challenge 1 play per regulation and 1 in overtime, with some restrictions. First, a team must have a timeout available and call it to initiate a review. Second, there are a limited number of items that can be reviewed. Those include catch or no catch, ball carrier in or out of bounds, forward or backwards pass, and a handful of others. If successful, the coach will be given back the timeout. In overtime, coaches can challenge once, no matter how many overtime periods are played, and only if they have a timeout.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. On the volleyball court at Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek, 4 champions were crowned. Let's start with Division 1, where Farmington Hills Mercy dropped the first 2 sets to Grand Rapids Forest Hills Northern before storming back and winning in 5. In Division 2, North Branch won its 2nd straight title, this one in straight sets over Grand Rapids West Catholic. Division 3 saw Kalamazoo Christian defeat Traverse City St. Francis in 4 sets. It's the first volleyball title in school history for the Comets. Holland DeVries finished with 16 kills and 27 digs in the victory. And in Division 4, after being down 2 sets to none in both the semifinals and finals, Clarkston Everest Collegiate won its first volleyball state title. They knocked off Leland in the title match after beating Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central in 5 sets in the semis. Coverage of all 4 divisions can be found at MHSAA.com. That wraps up the fall season here on This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we will see you in the new year with the winter season in full swing.
Landis to drive, swatted off the backboard by Regneris. Bulldogs push to Cam. He'll go to the line for one more. Gathers right circle. Schweiger leaves it for Westrick. Over to Bates. Shot scores on the power play. Braden Bates, the sophomore defenseman, 35-34. Maynard down the left side of the lane. Reaching shot off the window. Good for Taryn Maynard. Free throw up. Too strong. Fight for the rebound on the floor. Maynard has it ripping away up top for Titus. Zeros across the scoreboard, and Jennison has won. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Breslin Center and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. Picking around corner, Stockwell again, and one! Right elbow, skips a right corner to Watson, catch and shoot 3, splash! Muskegon has taken the lead, 47-46. His right hand hook shot, no good. Ball hangs above the rim. Tyron Thomas skies and tomahawks home the rebound, 40-36 Northview. The play of the day from Tyron Thomas. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Bulldog, to Grandville High School and Vanderslice Gymnasium, not Bulldog Stadium. Hey, Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. It's not the preseason, but it's still the non-conference. We're still warming up. We're only 3 weeks in. I should know what I'm talking about, but I don't. We never know what we're talking about. We're off to a great start, and it's non-conference basketball. It's a really, really good matchup here tonight as well. Grandville and Spring Lake this evening from Vanderslice Gymnasium. As always, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. Welcome inside Vanderslice Gymnasium and CT. For the Bulldogs, it's a big bounce-back spot. A loss last time out in an absolute back-and-forth thriller with Forest Hill Central. It was a game that, we kind of knew it was going to be won right on the margins. In the end, Forest Hill Central won that game by 3, 50-47. Granville looking for the bounce back. Spring Lake's going to throw a lot of unique things at you in that way. So that's kind of the best place to start our Centennial Securities pregame show is, it's again, Coach Young has set up this schedule of very good teams that won district championships like Spring Lake last year that bring a lot of pieces back, that do things uniquely from around the area. Granville trying to see a little bit of everything, and so far they've mostly answered the challenge. The tough loss to F8C, the only blemish.
Yeah, I think so. I think the schedule really coming together well for the Bulldogs, as you mentioned, and the fact that it presents them with a lot of different looks early on, and they've handled them pretty well for the most part. Of course, a tough end to that Forest Hill Central game, but a game that they were in the entire way, controlled into the second and third quarters, and then just unable to close that one out. But they're seeing a lot of different things against a Unity team that can really control the tempo, against a Forest Hill Central team that has some guards that can really shoot the basketball well, and now tonight against a Spring Lake team that has some guys that can shoot the basketball as well, also present a unique defense, more than likely, that the Bulldogs are going to see in a unique test there. So the Bulldogs kind of run the full slate of things that they could possibly see in, and that's what you want in the non-conference, to kind of test yourselves before you get into the tough OK Red.
We're going to have maybe a slightly extended Centennial Securities pregame show right here, about 6 minutes still left in the JV game, which it was actually a blowout, or not a blowout, but it was like a double-digit lead for Spring Lake not that long ago. It's now a 1-point game. So maybe Braylon Haney, who had the moment of the year, if you were tuned in last Tuesday, knocking down I called it half court. It was a 3/4 court banked-in shot at the buzzer. I couldn't believe it. You didn't see it. We were on camera. Go to our social media at MI Game Night to take things out, as we said, when Braylon Haney rudely interrupts your pregame show, which he did. But barring that or barring whatever it looks like, it is 38-38 right now. But barring overtime, we'll have a slightly extended version of the show, and we do have a lot to get to because of it. The one thing, and you just alluded to it, that Coach Young in our preseason Coach's Corner interview with us really talked about wanting to do is setting up a schedule where you're seeing, if you're trying to build a program like he said he is, I want my team to see the best of the best across the area. That means the best of talent, the best of different systems, and just every corner of the Grand Rapids area that's going to test you in a different way. Well, today is one of those very, very unique tests because Coach Core, well known, all of his programs, JV, freshman and on, run it. A unique kind of hybrid 2-3 trapping, a little bit of matchup, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, difficult to play against zone. They're always among one of the best defensive teams in West Michigan because of it. So you've had the schedule so far for Grandville, grinding game against EGR, run and gun game versus Unity Christian, a run and gun but more offensively versus defensively run and gun game against Forest Hills Central where you had to have great shot making. Today, completely different. Now you have to see a zone and you have to play against that sort of tricky matchup.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a little bit more in the half court, and going to see the Bulldogs really have to execute some of their sets offensively if what we're seeing from the JV, the Spring Lake team, carries over to the varsity team. It's going to present some different looks where, it's kind of a unique. It starts in that 2-3 base defense, but then as the possession goes along, it morphs into, it can look to like a 1-3-1 at times and just forces you to hold on to the basketball and kind of contemplate every look, every pass before you try to dump it down low or swing it around. And so we'll see what the Bulldogs have prepared. Of course, something that they know about the Spring Lake team, and it gives them an opportunity to prepare for a defense like this, and something that will definitely benefit them going forward.
It was, I thought, going to be a perfect opportunity to kind of highlight what the defense looked like, but then the ball went back the other way, so we'll have to wait just a moment to be able to show that more. We still got some time left in this game. 41-40, Grandville JV team is up at the moment. Let's actually swing around here. They're on the offensive possession. Let's take a little bit of a look. We get to demonstrate during our pregame show. This is a little bbit of a look at the 2-3 zone, and this is more of kind of their stock 2-3, but they like to pull a man out. It almost acts like a little bit of a 1-1-3 at points, morphs back into 2-3. It's a tricky zone, and you're going to find yourself JV, varsity, the like, especially with all the lanky guys and the shooters Grandville has, kind of staring at the zone, swinging around in a lot of different situations. That's really just going to be the bulk of how this basketball game is going to be played, I think.
Yeah, I think so, and I think you'll see some of that shooting tested for the Bulldogs. They've shown to have some guys that can score the basketball pretty well from the outside, but still looking to kind of improve some of their shooting touch early on in the season. Of course, still getting comfortable with your shot, some of these guys, and so you're looking at guys like Hybor and Neves that could potentially have some open looks, and then we'll see what percentage they're able to hit from the floor off those looks.
All right, we're going to step aside. Be right back here on the Centennial Securities pregame show. Grandville Spring Lake this evening. Going to be a really good one in just a bit.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
You can feel confident choosing Farmers, which means a black cat doesn't always spell bad news.
What about a gang of them?
Actually, a group of cats is called a clouder.
Isn't that right, tough guy?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
MGN, drive, I am Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye.
You like cartoons? This has our logo on the front, on the back. The Bulldogs, the biggest games, the best teams. That's our tagline because we do all of that, even though it makes some people mad.
So I'm glad to see that after Tuckus came and went, that. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
That things are still on track there. God. Jennison. Things that stand out. Davison is going to kick everyone's. Bleep that. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned. He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Bates Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know it's pretty nice down here. I kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you do.
Continue looking to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right.
Let's talk a little bit more about Forest Hill Central because when you... Waylon Haney just hit a half-court buzzer beater to win the game. At the buzzer, the JV game. Grandville wins 55-52.
Yeah, rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz orthodontic smile of the game. Grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. Do you have any comments on the Trolls?
No. I mean, I'm with you.
You're friends with the Trolls? You are a troll?
Well, I have troll tendencies potentially when it comes to egging you on, I guess. But
your flight's at 5, or your?
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight. So
that sucks. So that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no. If I'm at the airport at that time, I will be. But I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay. We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to Music Jams Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with the JV game. Coming down to the end, 43-41 right now. Grandville JV team trailing to Spring Lake, who is at the line at the moment. Let's keep breaking things down, though, here on our Centennial Securities pregame show, and we'll get into much more of that once we start getting into warm-ups and the like here in some of the coming moments in this contest, but we talked about it a minute ago, and we can get into it a little bit more, Chandler. For Grandville in this contest, it is a really big bounce-back moment. A really tough loss to Forest Hill Central, a game that, if you're Grandville, you certainly feel like you played well enough to have won that basketball game. You wind up not winning that basketball game on the margins, falling short in that one. Now a tricky opponent that you're playing today, and in the end, it's going to come into a big moment for the Bulldogs to try to rally a little bit, see what they're going to be able to do and how they can bounce back.
Yeah, I think, any time in the season after you're coming off a loss, it's trying to bounce back strong, and some of that non-conference, even though a loss to Forest Hill Central, in the grand scheme of things, there's going to be ups and downs of the season. That one's not going to kill them, but you just really, any chance you have to try to prove your resiliency early on in the season after a tough loss like that, a close loss, now back at home against another quality team, it's just important to come out and play strong and have that bounce back effort right away, and just to prevent any snowballing from happening just 4 games into the season.
5-point lead right now for the Spring Lake team, and we already talked about it. You've seen a little bit of it. The idea of this Spring Lake zone and what they bring to the table is going to be so tricky. And again, we already talked about it off the top, but get to it again. It's a tricky matchup. It's a very unique zone that's thrown at you. It's one of those things where I think it's very wise for Coach Young to show his team early, and at the same time, Spring Lake, a very good opportunity for Coach Core's team and for his staff to be able to see a team that's got the size and the shooting of Grandville. So I think it's a really mutually beneficial type matchup to see this Grandville big size, great shooting team matchup against this unique kind of 2-3 hybrid type zone.
It works out really pretty well for both of these teams, and that's why they have these contests, and each of these coaches have scheduled this game. But I think for the Bulldogs, you get the chance to, after having a couple games where more run and gun, your offense is up and down the floor, and the defense is trying to create some turnovers to get out and run a little bit. It's a different look tonight, more than likely, where you're going to be slowed down a little bit offensively. If you get the chance to run, you're going to, but in the half court, things are going to be settled down a little bit. Going to have a plan of attack, and they've got the players to do so, whether that's going to be trying to get Cambridge nearest the ball in the middle of that zone defense. If they're going to try to shoot over the top of it, they've got some size on the outside to try to do that. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what the first attack is for the Bulldogs, and for Spring Lake, also the opportunity where with your zone defense now you're playing against some size and some guys that can shoot the basketball, and it presents a challenge for them to try to see where they can improve, how they play against size, and prepares them as their season goes along as well.
All right, here's what we're going to do. It's a 46-45 game, Spring Lake by 1. I think this is a good opportunity for us to maybe just call the JV game. What do you think?
Right.
We're just going to call the JV game. We actually have a roster today, a roster. So we'll do this just that. So we'll add on. We'll do something. We'll go off the cuff here on our Centennial Securities pregame show. 46-45. Don't have a graphic ready for this game, but the JV team for Spring Lake leading 38.9 on the clock. 38.9 on the clock. 46-45. Spring Lake JV. And we'll keep it right here for this. It'll be the Lakers inbounding. Thrown the length of the floor. Corralled, turned into the corner with Max Kipling. The Bulldogs able to rip the steal away with Brecken Mann. From the wing on the drive and picking up the foul, Anthony Richardson. When you talk about the future of Grandville basketball, number 0, number 1 right there. We've gotten a chance to watch them in these JV contests. Brecken Mann, you know the name. His brother Tyson's here tonight. It's pretty simple. You know the kind of player that Grandville's going to be eventually getting. And Richardson, a very good player, great shooting touch, and he's going to the line down 1 right here with a chance to give the Bulldogs the lead.
Richardson has been shooting the basketball well. Down these closing minutes, the Bulldogs trying to cut into this lead for a while now, and he's made some big shots. A couple from beyond the arc. Also has got the chance to attack the basket a little bit, and now trying to make some big free throws right here.
I kind of know what, some of these broadcasters, they just try to, they just show up and do games, right off a roster without, looking at it before. I now know how they feel. How about that from Richardson? Great work from the Bulldogs sophomore to put the Grandville JV squad back up 47-46 with 30 ticks left. Here's the inbound and the slow push. With the basketball, Jack Brown on the drive and the handoff. Good defense. Able to get his hand in there. From Eli Schultz. Possession arrow will stay with Spring Lake. 15 seconds on the clock. It's another JV thriller. We are not making the mistake of having the camera on us when there's a three-quarter court buzzer beater this week. And up top, a timeout. There's Brown with the basketball, and Coach Calvin Morehart for the Spring Lake JV squad going to call the timeout, bring his team back. So 7.2 ticks on the clock, 47-46, Grandville JV. The true cardiac kids. You thought the varsity team were the cardiac kids because they have been so far. The JV team is on a different level right now. They're just winning games solely by a point and by three-quarter court buzzer beaters.
Yeah, it's been working. They've played a couple games where it's right down to the wire, and they've been able to come out on top. And another one where they were down double digits late in this one, fought all the way back now to have themselves a lead with 7 seconds. Looked like they're playing it straight up. The Spring Lake offense has had some issues with the full court pressure that the Bulldogs were showing. They were turning the basketball over a lot, and that was a big part of the reason the Bulldogs able to come back. Now, after that timeout, going to have it in the half court, going to have to get this ball inbound. But with 7 seconds, have enough time to try to set something up here.
And this is the Centennial Securities pregame show. We thank Centennial along with Farmers Insurance for presenting game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Wrapping up the JV game here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. 7.2 on the clock. 47-46. Grandville JV by 1. It'll be the Lakers on the inbound here. But not before the Bulldog bench will call a timeout of their own right here. Grandville JV, by the way, coached by Sam Meads and assisted, seen on the bench by recent former Bulldog Landon Regneris, who we covered his entire career. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about a kid that came up as a sophomore. We saw his whole career. Well, wait a minute. We saw him come up as a sophomore, play his whole career. You know where this is going.
I do.
And then his brother came up as a sophomore, played his whole career, ending this year. And now Landon's returned, and he's on the bench. And we've been here for all of it. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, not great. I mean, we've seen full careers play out, and now players move on to being coaches right in front of us.
We've seen full families, and then we've seen those families turn into coaches in the program.
Yep, that's it makes me feel pretty old, but
sorry. When I have the thought, I have to take you through it as well. So again, 7.2 on the clock, JV game here as we're getting ready for Grandville Spring Lake this evening. Bulldogs JV team up 47-46. And again, it will be the Lakers on the inbound right here. So Landon O'Donnell will be the one to throw in. Gets into Jack Brown. He's run the offense for the bulk of the day. Drives on Naraki. Shot is off the mark. Board, put back, no. Bulldogs secure the rebound. And the Cardiac Kids Grandville JV squad win again in absolute heart-wrenching or heart attack-inducing type fashion. So welcome back up top here to Vanderslice Gymnasium. So there's your foray. And again, Grandville JV basketball. I mean, it is interesting. I don't know how much you can glean always from the JV programs, but in this case, the systems that each team runs are pretty similar. I think you can try to find some big names in terms of the future of the program. We talked about a couple for the Bulldogs, and they've got a lot of guys and a lot of names that you would know certainly from football season, and guys that were up on Coach Stiegel's team as sophomores that are part of this JV team. And hard-fought game there. But now we get to turn our attention fully to this varsity game, and we get to turn our attention to some of these key matchups that you want to get into. And again, it is a similar talking point to really what we've had kind of all year long. The Bulldogs have played a lot of teams that have some really good guard play, and of course Grandville has been starting 4 forwards of 6'5" and above. There's no other way really to put it. I know a couple of the guys, Nevs and Highboard, they list as guards/forwards on the official roster. I mean, they were forwards last year, or maybe wings, or however you may want to put them, but that's what Grandville's been bringing out. They have an opponent in Spring Lake, who of course brings a lot of good guard play. A little bit more of essentially 3 guards and 2 wings playing out of that zone. a unique matchup there.
Yeah, it sure is. I think you immediately look to the defensive side of the ball for the Bulldogs when you've got a couple guards that can shoot it well from beyond the arc and also can attack off the dribble. And kind of similar in that aspect to the Forest Hill Central game we saw. And something the Rangers were able to do was curl with the basketball, a little bit of attack, get some of their ball handlers going downhill, drive towards the basket, and then either kick it out or be able to attack and use some of their speed to get around that size. And so I think now that the Bulldogs and some of that their offensive pieces saw that and kind of know what the game plan is, kind of know what other teams are going to try to do when they've got ball handlers like that, kind of understand what they're going to have to do defensively to try to neutralize them.
One really pretty big note. We have been waiting for the Bulldog freshman guard Carter Wade to make his season debut. He's been out of the lineup to begin the season. He is dressed, and it looks like the Bulldogs super freshman, based on what we've heard out of this really talented transfer freshman, is going to get a chance to draw into the Bulldog lineup for the first time tonight. You see him right now around center court as part of that layup line, right around Grandville assistant coach John Teske, former U of M standout. So the Bulldogs, Lakers will continue their warm-ups, and we'll be right back here in just a moment. We're going to step aside, be right back on the Centennial Securities pregame show.
The 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas, the point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Hey everyone, Nate from Michigan Game Night. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the MGN shop. You can find it through MichiganGameNight.com or the Michigan Game Night page on Michigan Sports Radio. Click on the Buy MGN Merch button or tab on either page and find your way on over. You can check out a store that has hats, beanies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, water bottles, and everything in between, from just simple MGN logo designs to playoff featured designs, designs with famous calls and moments from MGN, and much, much more. Make sure you check out the MGN shop through MichiganGameNight.com or MichiganSportsRadio.com/MGN.
Can you identify your number 1 personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to MHSAA Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, thanks for tuning in. Wherever you may be tuned in this evening, either through MichiganSportsRadio.com, the Michigan Sports Radio app, or via the MGN YouTube page at MI Game Night, where you can find us all across social media. Again, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you this evening from Bulldog Arena, Vanderslice Gymnasium. Still trying to call it Bulldog Stadium. About 14 minutes here from warm-ups. 2-1 Spring Lake and 2-1 Grandville for Coach Young for the Bulldogs and Coach Core for Spring Lake. Let's dive into these Bulldogs just a little bit more. And you look at the Grandville season that they've put together so far. 2 really good wins against EGR and Unity Christian at the Invite to open up the year for the Bulldogs. After that, falling by 3 to Forest Hill Central last time out for the Dogs in 50-47 fashion. But for the Bulldogs, their unquestioned leader so far this year has been the two-way dominance of Cam Regnerus. 16.6 points per game on the year, season high against Unity Christian of 24 for Cam, and then also 3 blocks per game on his own end. But I don't think those blocks per game, that's the official number, but it doesn't fully account for the amount of shots he redirects, the amount of shots he tips, and just the amount of plays that he's right in the middle of and completely being a force and a freak of nature defensively. So the offense has been there to a tune of nearly 20 points per game on the year, and the defense is as good as ever for Cam.
Yeah, the offense rather has been fantastic for Cam early on in the season, and he continues to work on that part of his game, and will continue to develop that. And the Bulldogs offense going to take every bit of it and taking him as a leader scoring, but the defense has always been there for Regnerus his entire career, just being that defender down low underneath the basket, just completely alters the opposing team's offensive game plan when you've got a shot blocker down there like that can really move his feet well, can recover, can help out his teammates a lot in defending the inside like that, and just it really causes some havoc for the other team.
We talk a lot about Grandville trying to find their groove and trying to find what exactly the backcourt's going to be, but the front court has helped out the backcourt in a way that Corbin Heckman has really, the third-year senior, stepped into a little bit of a point forward role. He, though, in the loss against FHC had, I think, maybe all around the best performance that we've seen out of Corbin in his 3 years with the Bulldogs. 17 points, a trio of 3-point field goals, 4 rebounds as well. He did a lot of work running the offense at moments as well. It really was one of the most impressive games we've seen out of Corbin Heckman. And if the Bulldogs get that sort of play out of Corbin at the 4, it really makes him that much more dangerous.
They're no doubt going to be looking for him to carry over some of the momentum from that performance. I think you've seen it in flashes at time from Corbin Heckman throughout his career, and in a game where they needed some extra scoring along with Cam Regnerus, he steps up, and his ability to spread the floor a little bit as a bigger guy, shoot the basketball from the outside, but then also still have some size to be that other option down low if they want to bring Cam out to the outside, and they can rotate Heckman down low, and he's got some moves close to the basket as well. The defense, you see the rebounds as well, that he can do a little bit of everything, but when he's playing his complete game like that, just really opens things up for the Bulldogs on both ends of the floor.
For Spring Lake and head coach William Core, when you go through what this team is going to be able to bring to the forefront for Coach Core, it's going to start with Eli Morrison, number 12 for this team. Senior guard, 6'3", just a true lefty sniper. Had 21 points, doing a lot of his damage from 3 against Grand Rapids Union last time out. They've got a depth of guys we can talk about on the wing and at the other guard positions that can score and can handle the basketball. But when it comes to their offense, shooting the ball with Eli Morrison certainly is going to be the first and foremost, most critical part of what Coach Core's offensive attack.
Yeah, against the size of the Bulldogs, there's a couple different ways that we'll see if the Lakers try to attack it, and one of them involves Morrison potentially shooting over the top of some of the length and getting some space, also handling the basketball, being able to create some openings and drive to the basket from there. So we'll see what Morrison's game, how he plays here tonight, and a true scoring threat can do it in multiple ways.
Also, I want to give a shout-out on the other side of the gym, if you can see them. Eric Kalin, 103.5 WAWL, our old boss and owner here at Michigan Game Night, in attendance, doing the game back in Grand Haven area radio. Can't quite see it. They've got the Christmas lights up in front of their setup, so they're bringing the Christmas spirit in for certain, as Eric is certainly always very capable to do. So great to see Eric and great to see all those guys back in again. Eric, he and his son they formed Michigan Game Night going back, 2015, 2016. I jumped on board in 2017, that fall. You joined in the following fall, and then we took over full-time starting with that winter 2020 into 2021 season, the greatest high school sports season in the history of high school sports season, especially buying the company in December at the exact moment that the season got canceled.
Yeah, was there something else going on at that time?
Yeah.
It's hard to remember.
So, but great to see Eric and those guys back with us here this evening as we get just a little bit closer. 9 minutes or so to go until tip-off. We'll be right back here on the Centennial Securities pregame show and game night on Michigan Sports Radio.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Michigan hearing experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Expert.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grsof.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Vanderslice Gymnasium, Nate Dreyer and Chandler Timmer here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Again, make sure you follow us across all of social media at MI Game Night, where you can find us here at Michigan Game Night and Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We've got plenty more updates on what's up next. What is up next, by the way, is Friday, right back here in our boys basketball game. And it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be the best game of the year so far. And, you know, we've had some really good contest for sure that we've had the opportunity to be able to call. But Grandville Byron Center, there's a rivalry element to this thing for sure, and it's the kind of contest where I think we saw the intensity when they played last year. For as exciting as this one is, the intensity is going to be next level on Friday.
Yeah, I would truly imagine. I think both these schools got the opportunity to face off with each other now, back-to-back seasons, and towards the end of last year when a lot of those players are going to remember that game and the intensity and some of the heated nature of that game. And so I think a game both those schools are probably looking forward to and getting an opportunity to play against each other again.
Yeah, for sure. You see Spring Lake obviously continuing their warm-ups, and we'll welcome you back up to where we are here, our broadcast perch at Vanderslice Gymnasium. So the one question mark that we've been trying to answer all year, and the Bulldogs have been trying to answer all year, is what this guard play is going to look like. We know the forward group that they bring to the table. I mean, it goes out saying what Neves and Regneris and Heckman and Hybor and all these other pieces, what they certainly bring to the table. Again, a team essentially starting 4 guards. A couple of them are wings and essentially small forwards, but essentially 2 small forwards, a power forward, a center is what their lineup is with a single guard. Well, we've been seeing flashes out of a lot of young pieces on this team in the backcourt. Sorokin off the bench. Jackson DeYoung, the senior, has been getting the start for the Bulldogs. We've seen some good flashes out of the sophomore, Brendan Vanderhart, who's had 9 points and 7 points in a couple games, coming off the bench. Tonight, though, like I mentioned a moment ago, Carter Wade, their freshman, who they think very highly of. We'll see what sort of minutes he's going to play right off the jump. But Carter Wade looks like he's active, he's dressed, and will get a chance to draw into Grandville's attack. So we continue to put these pieces together of what Grandville's backcourt mix is going to be. And like we've been saying all year, what the backcourt looks like on December 20 is not what that backcourt's going to necessarily look like in terms of the full rotation on February or March 20 if they're still playing on March. Hopefully they're still playing on March 20. That's kind of the first and main thing to look at in that backcourt. We finally get to see the freshman Wade. These other guys have been coming up. This mix continues to evolve a little bit, and a big piece could be getting unlocked tonight.
Yeah, it does seem like that's going to be something that we'll see develop as the season goes along and see that rotation probably change. But for now, it's been a lot of young starting at the point, and he's played well at times. You've seen Sorokin come in and have some strong minutes on both ends of the floor as well. Boston Postma, Vanderhart been more of a shooter off the bench than a true ball handler and a point guard. But yeah, I think you're looking for who can be that guy that can handle the basketball, can run the offense, maybe can shoot and score a little bit of their own and help this offense out and as a whole. And I think it's for now it seems to be kind of a rotation and approach by committee as to who's going to be in there and at what times. But I think Carter Wade definitely has the opportunity to come in here, and we'll see if we see his debut tonight. But an opportunity that he could play well and see his role grow throughout the season.
For Grandville on the year, averaging 51.3 points per game offensively. They're giving up 46. I mean, all their games have been right in pretty much that exact window. You know, the first game was a little bit lower scoring game against EGR, a little bit higher scoring game the next time out against Unity, and then right, of course, in that window against FHC. Spring Lake scoring 57 points per game on the year, giving up 48.6. And those numbers certainly helped. By last time out, Spring Lake went out and beat Grand Rapids Union 69-43. So all of that a long way of saying, I think we can look at the pace, and the last game against FHC for Grandville being more of a back-and-forth shot-making affair. The last game for Spring Lake being a little bit more of a kind of create turnovers, create easy offensive opportunities. I don't think that storyline is going to be there for either team in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see a little bit different style game, and we'll see how the Bulldogs respond to that, and probably a slower attack offensively, one that they're going to have to be prepared for, and a little bit it's going to be one where they have to have a plan of attack ready to roll. And so I think we'll see how the Bulldogs look here and exactly what that's going to be in their first test against his own defense.
All right, National Anthem on deck. We will stay with you for that. Again, thanks for tuning into the Centennial Securities pregame show here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio from Vanderslice Gymnasium. Grandville football head coach Eric Stiegel on the PA today. We'll hand it on over to him right now.
For tonight's boys varsity basketball contest between the Lakers of Spring Lake High School and your Grandville Bulldogs. Before we play tonight, I invite you all to stand. Gentlemen, remove your caps, and let's honor America with the playing of the other forward, wearing number 5, a junior, Caden Neves. At a guard, a junior, wearing number 33, Colin Highmore. And the man in the middle, at center, a senior, number 12, Cameron.
All right. Thanks again to Grandville football head coach Eric Stiegel on the player intros. Ready to rock and roll here. Grandville and Spring Lake this evening from Vanderslice Gymnasium. Again, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. All right, CT, a little bit different lineup than what we were maybe first anticipating. A little bit more size maybe out there with Carson George at 6'4", the wing and forward, drawing into the starting lineup for the Lakers here this evening. But both teams coming out, and we will see Cam Regneris get that jump in just a moment. And we're going to try to answer a lot of questions here.
Yeah, we sure will. I think right away you look at the size of the Lakers and try to figure out who the matchup is going to be against Cam Regneris. Likely going to be giving up a few inches to Cam, and we'll see that zone's going to help them out in that one-on-one matchup. But who's going to be primarily guarding him down low underneath the basket?
Colin Burt gives up about 5 inches on the tip. Cam wins it straight back, and away we go. DeYoung will start up the Grandville offense, and right away, here is that zone. It's a matchup type look, a 1-1-3, a 2-3. They shift it all around out of the zone. To the corner for Neves. Swung over to Highbore. He'll trigger with some space. Got it. Good start for Colin Highbore. An odd game for Colin. He got kind of knocked around a little bit early against FHC. Never quite found the footing he was looking for offensively. A very good start that the Bulldogs certainly want to see their terrific junior get into.
Yeah, and he's going to have some looks against that zone, able to get it all the way over the top of it, and then open look from 3 and already beating his total from last time out.
Drive off the mark, but a second chance putback is secured by Eli Morrison. Swung to the corner. Triple try to knot the ball game off the mark for Colin Burt, and the Bulldogs will settle things down. Jackson DeYoung will again run the Grandville offense. First minute gone. Here is Highbore working against that zone. Neves, he'll trigger one. Got it. Good start for the Bulldogs. Couple of triples. First Highbore, then Neves. Coach Young talked about it. He thinks this is his best three-point shooting team ever, and that could be good news for them if they're able to get the shot going against the zone.
Yeah, so far, 2 of their highest three-point shooters able to cash in early on. They're going to have to continue to knock those down to try to shoot over top of the zone defense.
Physical man-to-man is Coach Young's brand, opening up here for the Bulldogs. This is Morrison, trapped, and a held ball is called. Alternating possession will stay with Spring Lake, but an aggressive start defensively for the Bulldogs. It looks a lot like what we expect out of Grandville basketball so far, and Corbin Heckman showing a little bit of emotion as well.
Yeah, really strong start. The Bulldogs 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and then defensively already frustrating the Lakers a little bit, forcing them to have some issues getting into their offense.
This is Schlepp, the 6'3 junior wing, working on Neves. Morrison, their leading scorer, had 21 points in the win over Grand Rapids Union last time out. A team that can certainly shoot the ball well, top to bottom, down Coach Core's lineup. Off the drive, the finish will not go for Colin Burt. And again, the Bulldogs secure, and Highbore will run the break. He'll pop the triple. Got it. What a start for Grandville from deep. And right away, Coach Bill Core needs a timeout. 5:54 in the first. 9-0 Grandville. Couple of triples for Highbore. Add another one in for Neves. And the Bulldogs off to a fast start. We'll be right back.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
All right, welcome back here. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio. 9-0 Grandville, 5:54 in the first. As good of a start as we've seen, especially offensively for the Bulldogs. Couple of triples for Neves. Couple of triples for Highbore, one more for Neves. And Grandville working very effectively early against this kind of funky Spring Lake zone.
Yeah, they do. They're going to have some open looks from beyond the arc, more than likely. And so far, really knocking down 3 for 3. Highmore proving that his last time out was the outlier That in both of the wins for the Bulldogs, he scored 18 and 11. Double-digit points for the Bulldogs in the wins, and then, of course, just 2 points in the loss. So he was going to be one of the X factors in this game and shooting it really well early on.
He has been so terrific. As you highlighted open the year, this is Zach Schlepp off the drive and feeding to Burt on the wing. Morrison, defended by Jackson DeYoung. Bulldogs the man-to-man pressure to open things up defensively, turning a travel on Morrison. The Bulldog defense, for as good as the offense looks, Grandville defensively, a very intense, pressure-oriented start to this game. This is probably one of the most intense and grinding half-court defensive looks that we've seen out of the Dogs so far this year.
Yeah, DeYoung there able to stick with Morrison. Morrison trying to get something going for the Lakers offense, driving, and DeYoung able to frustrate him, forced him to double dribble.
Cam Regneris will draw the contact, and the Bulldog big man will go to the line. Cam, 13 points against EGR, 13 points against FHC, 24 against Unity to add on. That foul is on Morrison, which would be his first and the first on the team. 5:18 in the first. And Cam going to work at the line for the Bulldogs. They look to get in double digits and do. This has been the one bugaboo, so to speak, in his offensive game so far this year. Started the year a little bit slow at the line, but even last year we saw that a bit out of Cam, and he hits both right on cue. He started a little slow at the line, and he almost immediately kind of offensively got it going. Now, he has to leave the floor because he's bloodied. He certainly caught something there from Morrison and company as he was finding his way to the basket. Appears that maybe just broke while he was at the line, what the deal is, but a pretty bloodied face and nose for Cam Regneris, who will have to sub out here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a bloody nose for Cam there, and allowed to shoot the free throws, and the officials noticing it, and he's going to have to quickly get cleaned up and more than likely going to be back on the floor here shortly.
Burt feeding on to Morrison here. Spring Lake looking to get in their offense and get their first points. An 11-0 start for the Dogs, 3 minutes in. Morrison feeding the wing for Colin Burt. The senior driving against the trees, off the mark. Gibson Connolly rips down the rebound for the Bulldogs. Young swinging to Corbin Heckman. He'll tow it into a triple. Bulldogs missed their first from deep in the game. Morrison able to snag the rebound. Pushing it, kicking it back. Up top, Burt on the drive. Loses the handle off his own foot. It'll go Grandville's way.
Yeah, Burt with a little hesitation move at the top of the key. The defense still trying to settle in a little bit. Had an opportunity to try to drive to the left side of the hoop. But as he was going to try to put it on the deck and get underneath, ended up losing the basketball. Had a chance there if he was able to control it. Might have had the first points of the game for the Lakers.
4.5 in the first. The Bulldogs off to a very good start in this one, 11-0. Heckman swinging for DeYoung. Cam Regneris set to check back in for the Bulldogs. He's all cleaned up. High board. Can he get another? That one rattles out. Neves snags the board, and the putback is good for Caden Neves. The Bulldogs wings off to a terrific start. 5 for Neves to add on to the 6 for Highbore.
And Neves has a size advantage there too, recognizing it off the 3, sees it from Highbore, able to crash on the right side, elevate up over top of any of the Lakers who are trying to box him out, and then go up strong.
Triple try off the mark for Carson George. Rebound to Morrison, keeps the possession. Hit Schlepp on the drive. Kick to the wing for Colin Burt. And it'll get cycled back out for Jaden Core. The junior will back it out. Corner Burt. Finding Morrison with 3.5 in the quarter. Driving on DeYoung. Good defense from Jackson DeYoung. Gets the poke, the steal to Heckman. Running the floor, the feed to Neves, right to the rack. And the reverse gets him to 7 on the ball game. 15-0. And the Bulldogs off to a flying start.
Bulldogs defense just continues to give the Lakers issues. They are not able to get the basketball inside whatsoever. Continuing to turn the basketball over there. DeYoung doing a good job being active. Getting his hands on the basketball a couple different times now.
Drive, tough one, Carson George. Gets Spring Lake on the board. A very difficult shot, and the lanky senior able to get the first mark on the scoreboard for Spring Lake in this one. They'll set up their zone right here, bouncing around. Nice active hands on the poke and the steal. It's Jaden Core all the way to the rack. Can't get the finish. Board down to Highbore. And it looks like Highbore stepped on that end line, snagging the board. And Spring Lake will get to keep it. Bulldogs will change out their unit pretty fully as Spring Lake does the same. See Depphouse and Aiden Ayers as part of the unit coming out for Spring Lake. The Bulldogs will have Postma and Sorokin along with the return of Cam Regneris here for the Dogs. 2:40 in the first, 15-2. Really good start for the Bulldogs. 7 for Neves, 6 for Highbore. Triple try for Ayers, and fresh off the bench, the sophomore forward knocks down the triple, and Spring Lake has their first deep ball of the game.
Yeah, really the most space they've had outside the arc. Regnerus a step late getting out there, and Ayers able to get one up.
Here's Highbore, a little bit more kind of tighter pressure here out of what's now a man-to-man defensive look being shown by the Lakers. Sorokin. Regnerus turns, dumps it, extra pass. Heckman, love the sequence, knocks down the triple. Oh, that was pretty from the Bulldogs, 18-5 ball game.
Able to dump it down to Regnerus. Double team comes, then the pass off the cut along the baseline, right into the pass back out to the corner. Really well done offensively by the Bulldogs.
Schlepp to the corner for Depphaus, the senior guard. Offensive foul, expertly drawn by Sorokin. Bulldogs take back over.
Even though the Bulldogs making some substitutions, Sorokin in there, making a play on the defensive end right away, keeping his feet in front there, forcing the Lakers, when they're attacking, to try to lower the shoulder and push off a little bit. Charge call right there.
Big 6'5" junior Ryan Grimm in here for Coach Core and the Lakers. Can't get over that passing sequence. Last possession, though, by the Bulldogs. Boy, was that some really nice-looking offense, and getting the bigs involved, too, in the passing sequence. Postma for Heckman. Active hands, nearly stolen by Core. And it's one of the leading parts of this, you know, as we call it, kind of funky zone offense or zone defense. A little bit more man-to-man right now, but what they throw at you is they're very, very active. Any lazy pass, like some zones will sit back and you can lazily pass around the perimeter. They don't care. This is not one of those defensive looks where anything lazy is going to work.
Yeah, I've seen just twice now passes from the Bulldogs out on the outside. Neves had one a minute ago, and then this one right here where, yeah, just anticipating that pass is going to get through, and the Lakers covering some ground and getting a piece of it.
Boston Postma flying to the corner for Vanderhart, the Bulldogs sophomore, out for the first time in this game. Swung to Regnerus. Under a minute in the first. He'll try a three. Can't get that one. It goes back the other way. Bulldogs are feeling it from deep. Might as well try to get Cam in. That's something that Coach Young talked about. He thinks that there is an extra element to Cam's game, looking to the three-point and the shot that I think in driving that is all going to come in a little bit more offensively. 46 seconds and less here. Ayers kicking up top for Grimm. Back to Ayers. Rejected by Heckman. 37 on the clock. Boston Postman a run for the Dogs. He'll get met up by Morrison. Vanderhart. Drive from Sorokin. Kicked. Vanderhart triple. Off the mark for the Bulldogs sophomore, and a high reaching rebound from Morrison. Looking to run the break with some pace. Got it to Depphaus in the lane. Tough one. No with 16 seconds. Vanderhart the board for the Dogs with 13. Sorokin corner. Postma. All the space in the world. Can't get the rattle. Morrison the board with 6. Core the drive with 2, or Depphaus I should say. At the buzzer, no. 18-5 after one. Very, very good start for Coach Desmond Young and his Bulldogs after one. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Second quarter, 18-5. And that was close to, I would probably say, the best quarter of the year out of the Grandville Bulldogs so far that we've seen. We've seen them all, and I think that's the best one they've played.
I think so. A little bit of everything from Grandville, both ends of the floor in that first quarter. You see 4 triples knocked down, a couple from Highbore, one from Neves, one from Heckman. Cameron Nears getting involved, got a couple free throws. And also some nice passing sequences. The offense almost immediately getting the Lakers out of that zone defense that we talked about for most of the pregame and forced them to go out of that and into a man-to-man look, making that adjustment early on.
All right, fresh 8 minutes up. Fouls reset. We really haven't seen any fouls for the first part of this game either. Vanderhart Sorokin in the backcourt for the Bulldogs along with Postma. Neves on the wing, and the big man Cam Regneris in the middle of everything for the Bulldogs as we get started with the second quarter. The zone back out here for Spring Lake. Bulldogs swing it to the corner. Neves looking for more. Got it. Caden Neves showing off the potential and then some. He's got 10 of Grandville's 21.
Yeah, corner open again. The defense there and able to find him. Confidently puts that one up, and a very impressive start from Neves. His best game so far in the first half.
We've been waiting for him to break out of that offensive, I won't call it a slump. He's been plenty good to open the year. This, by the way, is an over and back, and the Bulldogs take it over. He's been plenty good offensively, but you've seen the potential. He's had a lot of open looks. He's had a lot of good slashes. He just hasn't gotten the finishes. You just know that the terrific junior transfer out of Fishers, Indiana, the second that things clicked for Caden, it was going to look really special, and this is kind of what we thought he could be so far in this one. Nice drive from Cam. Can't get the touch. He'll get a second chance. He'll get a third chance at it. Regneris stays with it and puts 2 more on the board for the Bulldogs.
Regneris just never given up on that one. Had a pretty good move to the basket initially, but then after he sees the shot miss, never gives up on it, able to go up 2-3 times.
Foul on Postma, the first of the quarter on the Bulldogs, and that'll be the first. Also on the Bulldogs, 5'10" senior guard. Couple of substitutions coming in for Coach Bill Core. See Zach Schlepp return, along with Jaden Core, the junior. Jaden to throw this one in. 7:04 in the second. Morrison tied up, held ball. It will stay with Spring Lake. Again, active hands right there. And the one thing the Bulldogs have done, we talked in our pregame scouting report on the Centennial Securities pregame show. I mean, Eli Morrison, 21 points against Grand Rapids Union. You got to deny the ball from him at all costs, and Grandville's certainly done that defensively.
Yeah, great recognition there off the inbound pass by Vanderhart, seeing the ball lobbed in there, even though he wasn't the defender, able to come over and get a piece of that one.
Reaching pass for Burt, poked and stolen by Vanderhart. The Bulldogs sophomores had some really nice defensive hands. 23-5 Dogs. Neves, baseline drive, flying, scoring, offensive foul.
Great idea from Neves. Might have been able to force up the corner three, very similar to the one he just hit a second ago. Defense pretty close to closing out, though, so electing to try to drive along the baseline. I think the right call, but then the Lakers defense well prepared and getting set up along that left block, cutting off his lane. Might have leaned just a little bit, but enough contact there that Nev's going to get called for the offensive foul.
On the main wing, Morrison worked around for Schlepp, defended by Vanderhart. Schlepp will draw the foul against Vanderhart. A couple more fouls getting called so far early in the second quarter, and all of them against the Bulldogs. That's the third team foul on the Dogs, the first on Vanderhart. Here comes Ethan Sheely for his first action of this one, as Postma will take a seat. First time we've seen Sheely check in with the game in the balance so far this year, so certainly drawing the trust of his coaching staff, working on some more minutes here. Driving the lane, rejected by Cam Regneris. The turn from Colin Burt, but that's just what Cam does, even when he's a little late to rotate into a play with those long arms and the long extension, able to slap that one out of play.
Yeah, the recovery is just fantastic from Regneris, and the Lakers have been unable to get the basketball down low and in the paint pretty much all game long to this point, and so Burt catches that one and doesn't have a defender immediately on him. He thinks he's got a layup, but then Regneris, in the blink of an eye, is right there and swatting that one away.
Burt for Schlepp into the paint. Morrison, he'll work on Hybor, who's fresh out there, and that was advantage Colin Hybor. Bulldogs push to Neves. 2 minutes gone in the second. Neves out to Hybor, triggers it. Got another one, and another one pure. Bulldogs by 21.
Morrison and Burt for the Lakers had fallen down behind the play, so 5-on-3. The Bulldogs able to get the ball up the floor. End up getting it back outside to Hybor, who continues to hit from deep.
Cam Regneris just takes it away from Morrison. He'll go all the way, and he got it. Cam Regneris, what a play. Timeout, Coach Core. My goodness, Cam. We'll be right back. 5:34 in the second, 28-5 Bulldogs.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
All right, welcome back to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Your producer slash broadcaster slash graphics tech slash whatever. Unfortunately, again, forgot to grab a replay of that Cam Regneris moment. Just if you're on, you can just go back 15 seconds. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever, you can just go back and see it. But Cam Regneris, man. I mean, we talked about on the pregame show. The offense has been just improved even that much more, but the defense and those kind of plays. I mean, the block earlier, is that a block or is that a steal? I mean, that was just to give me that. Yeah. I mean, that's its own category. Just steal. I think it was a block. I think it was a steal, but it was a block and a steal. I think he should get credit for both. All right, we're back underway here. Foul is called on the Bulldogs defensively. That's their fourth of the quarter, 28-5, and they will get Xander Sorokin for that one. Jackson DeYoung back in for the Bulldogs as Sorokin off his first foul will take a seat here for Coach Desmond Young. I mean, we need practice footage of Regneris and John Teskey in practice. That's really all we need to see. Of course, if you're from Spring Lake, former Michigan player, nice drive along the baseline and a good reaching finish from Zach Schlepp for Spring Lake. It's the Lakers back on the board, but John Teskey, the former Michigan standout, joining the Bulldogs staff this year, and I think that's a big part of why we've seen Cam get so much better, especially in his offensive game in the early part of this season. Hybor bouncing around the screen, got it out here for Cam. Hybor tries another one, just off the mark with that. Lakers will push it onto Burt. Colin Burt defended by Caden Neves. Top to reset the offense with Core, swung corner. Carson George, tough one over top of Jackson DeYoung, will not go. 4.5 in the first half, 28-7 Bulldogs.
It's kind of shots that the Bulldogs have been forcing the Lakers into.
Neves again, and that was pure again. Bulldogs 31, Lakers 7. Everything going for the Dogs.
Yeah, between Neves, Regneris, and Hybor right now, everything seems to be falling, whether it's from beyond the arc with Neves and Hybor or Regneris down low.
Foul here will be the 5th on the Bulldogs, so there's free throws coming regardless here, and it will send Morrison to the line. They got DeYoung for his first, by the way, and the 5th on the Bulldogs. Fouls 5-0 in this quarter. See Alex Perry, the junior, come up from the Bulldog bench, get ready to check in along with Landon Terry. So Terry and Perry in for the Bulldogs. Sheely and Neves will take a seat.
Now, the way this game has started for the Bulldogs, getting the opportunity to go pretty deep into the bench for Coach Young here early on, get some minutes for some guys that haven't been seeing a ton.
Morrison unable to add on anything at the stripe. Corner, Perry off the bench, can't knock that one down. Pushed down to Carson George, defended by Cam Regneris. Schlepp with a bunch of space, hit it.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes the Bulldogs have made right there. Confusion on who was guarding Schlepp. No one went out there even after initially recognizing that there was no one there. Still no one went out there, and Schlepp had all the time in the world to knock that one down.
Regneris gets the double. 3 from Hybor. Oh, that one 360s but will not go, and a foul is called. That is, again, going to send the Lakers to the line here. They'll get Landon Terry. It looks like it'll be Morrison again going to the stripe. 3:25 in the second. So we really haven't gotten a chance to see one of these new bonuses yet this year. I think we maybe had one in the first 4 games or so that we've done, and now this quarter we got 3:25 to go, and we've got Spring Lake easily into one of these bonuses. So
by far the most time we'll see a team in the bonus. Morrison 0 for 2 first time, that time cashing in, but Morrison is the leading scorer, or one of the leading scorers for the Spring Lake team. That's his first points of the game.
Lefty, again, 6'3" senior, had 21 points against Grand Rapids Union in the win last time out for Spring Lake. He's able to get it to go. Cam Regneris putting it on the floor. Hybor jumping to the corner. DeYoung will try one. He'll get patted straight on to Morrison here. Off the little underhand feed. Morrison toes and can't hit as he's trying to find a little bit of a rhythm for himself offensively. Grandville running with Hybor. Perry is fouled by Morrison, first of the quarter on the Lakers. We'll see Corbin Hackman come back in here for the Dogs. It's Terry taking a breather. DeYoung, nice ball movement on to Regneris. He's doubled again immediately every time he's touching the basketball. The pressure there from both sides. He'll go back the other way with Schlepp and company. 3 is blocked into the student section by Heckman after the sophomore Ayers tried to trigger that one.
The Lakers able to get the basketball to the floor pretty quickly, and the Bulldogs a little bit better there to catch up and recognize the spread, the spacing on the floor, able to get out. Heckman a step late, maybe, but forcing Ayers to go up with that shot and then able to recover, get out there and block that one.
Morrison to take a breather. Again, this is a Spring Lake team, district champions last year, off to a good 2-1 start with some really good wins. Their only loss, I think, was Whitehall, who's very, very good. So they certainly have proven early how good of a team this is. So certainly the best offensive start and defensive start of the year for the Bulldogs. All things considered, when you look at this game, it's Depphaus going to the line. Second foul on Cam Regneris.
One of the few times we've seen Depphaus there be able to create his own shot a little bit off the drive, able to lower the shoulder, draw some of that contact. Garrett Regneris in the body, get the foul call, and already in the bonus here, understanding that try to get as much contact, try to get the whistle, get to the free throw line.
But also all that said about Spring Lake, it certainly is a game where, even though it's a very solid start for the Bulldogs in this one, 31-13, not a game where they're going to be able to fully let up and get into sloppier moments of play, because they certainly can get beat on the other side. Hybor shooting like that is certainly going to help not allowing a comeback to happen. What a contest again for Colin Hybor, who's finding his stroke once again tonight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just so smooth out of the hand there.
Listman with the basketball, just moving that back foot and drawing the charge. He was trying to stop up. Here's Hybor. Regneris finding Alex Perry to the corner for Hybor again. Carter Wade is out there for the first time. The Bulldog freshman out of the corner here with Wade. Let's see what this highly touted transfer can do. Timeout from Coach Young, who wants to reset things a little bit. And we will take a timeout right alongside the Bulldogs. Don't worry, we will be right back from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
It's a beautiful time of year, but for many, it is also the beginning of allergy season, which means lots of sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, constant drainage, or ear pressure. These are all allergy symptoms we regularly treat. Don't let your allergy stop you from enjoying what you love to do outdoors. We have several ear, nose, throat, and allergy specialists ready to see you. Find us online at MichiganENTallergy.com. We look forward to helping you enjoy the outdoors again.
Welcome back to Vanderslice Gym. Been all Bulldogs so far. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, 34-13. Been all Bulldogs in particular. Been all Nevs and all Highbore for Grandville as the Dogs have shot the ball exceptionally well. The defense has looked good as well. This has been, for sure, Chandler, I think the best performance of the year out of the Bulldogs. Trapping pressure here for Spring Lake will force the turnover as they jump the Dogs a little bit right there. Ayers, the sophomore, out of the corner. They'll feed it wing for Schlepp. On the drive around Regneris. Can't get the touch. Board to Heckman. So a new look out of the timeout being shown by Spring Lake. Heckman, no look to the corner. Neves triggers another one. Rolls that one out. And a hard fight for the rebound as we are seeing the youngster, the freshman, Wade, in for the first time as a Bulldog and attacking 110% right there. Will draw the foul and send the Lakers and Schlepp to the line for a couple right here.
Yeah, Coach Young looking for an explanation on that call. It looked like Wade just trying to curl and cut towards the basket and pursue that offensive rebound. Ended up ripping it out of the hands there of Schlepp. That's where the foul call going to be drawn. Heckman also on the offensive glass got a piece of that one.
Lakers have struggled a little bit at the stripe. They've been in the bonus and have had a lot of chances in the second quarter, but they have been fighting a little bit offensively, just kind of out of a rhythm. Schlepp able to go 1 of 2 at the line right there. Is that maybe some good gamesmanship out of the freshman, tying his shoe right there in between the two free throws? That'd be a heady play that you want to see out of your young point guard who's got it right here working for the Bulldogs. Off the mark with that.
Now right away, Wade looking comfortable handling the basketball, maybe forcing it there a little bit though, trying to get his first points and trying to create that little step back mid-range jumper.
His team seems okay with it though, their reaction off it. I think they know the talent that the young man has and that we're excited to get to see for the first time this year. Ayers tries a three, the sophomore off the mark. Nice effort trying to punch the rebound, but an offensive foul called on Ren Depphaus that will go back to the Bulldogs.
And the box out there from Wade is what drew the foul, able to get a body out near the free throw line, extended, able to still get a body, force that foul on the rebound opportunity.
Wade swinging to Neves. It's pretty much the Bulldogs starting lineup right now with Wade. Triple try, good. Corbin Heckman adds on to it for the Bulldogs. 37-14, a three-point barrage from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 9 threes now for the Bulldogs in the first half.
Pass finding Schlepp. He'll drive on Cam Regneris. Ayers. Wing core. Schlepp again. He's drawn that defense from Regneris, trying to pull him out to the perimeter. Depphaus on the drive, bounding against Wade and getting the finish. Nice little two-step drop and a finish. As Wade again has got to clean up that shoe inside. Timeout. A quick 30-second timeout will stay with you through the break right here. Just 6 seconds on the second quarter clock as the Bulldogs will try to get something drawn up for this final possession of the second quarter. 37-16. Again, we can only say it in so many ways, but this has been the most complete performance, I think, out of Grandville so far on both ends of the floor. And they certainly have been able to hit everything early, and that's why the score has gone to where it's been. Because, again, this is a very, very good Spring Lake team on the other side.
Yeah, it is. They kind of got down out a little bit early on, but trying to fight back here in the second quarter. But the Bulldogs just continue to make shots. By far their best night shooting the basketball on the young season so far, and defense has played pretty well right along with it. And so, of course, Coach Young with 6 seconds here, going to take every opportunity he can, especially early on in the season, to work on these in-game situations, try to go the length of the floor against some pressure here, even though with the big lead right before halftime.
And this is a Spring Lake team that gives up like 47 points per game on the year, and Grandville up to 37 now in the backcourt. Off screen as Grandville is looking to get that one up. They got it on to Corbin Heckman, who launched a shot. I think they'll say, was there a foul? I think there's a foul on the floor is going to be the call. And that will take us to the half. So it is halftime, 37-16 at the break. A very good start, as we said again, for the Bulldogs start to finish. Offensively, the Bulldogs in Grandville red hot from deep. The defense able to match the occasion as well. We'll welcome you inside here as we begin our Farmers Insurance pregame show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer again, CT. I mean, a terrific start, but in particular, Colin Highbore struggled last time out for Grandville. Caden Neves has been trying to find his groove for Grandville offensively. I think they both found their groove in that first half.
It sure seems like it. Both those guys shooting basketball really well, looking confident out there. Highbore off of that tough performance last time out, showing that was just that was a fluke. That he was a little bit shaken up and really confident early on, knocking down some shots. Neves has had some open looks and has shooting the ball well, as you'd said earlier. That was still putting up good numbers, but I think he probably was hoping for better results, and he's seeing that here tonight. A really impressive first half from both of those guys.
I mean, in a game that what did Cam Ragnaris have in that?
He had 6 points.
So 6 points for Cam, a good start, but for Cam, it's right around his kind of. It's actually below his season average. You look at scoring nearly 17 on the whole game for the season. So Cam a little bit lower, but offensively, the rest of the team having their best day because everyone else working around Cam. Cam drawing the double. There's been someone wide open, and Granville's been hitting the wide open shots out of that. So it certainly has been the best start to a game so far. We'll see if Grandville can put together a full four quarters or if this talented Spring Lake team's got something coming in the second half. 37-16, Grandville over Spring Lake at the break. Don't go anywhere, right back here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. All Bulldogs in this one at the half, 37-16. Spring Lake in the bonus started to close things down a little bit, found a little bit more of a groove offensively to close the second quarter. Chandler, take us through our scoring recap from the first half of this one, please.
All right, for the Lakers, leading scorer Schlepp with 6 points. Depphaus and Ayers each had 3 points, and then George and Morrison both with 2 points. For the Bulldogs, 4 scorers total, leading Caden Neves, 13 points. Colin Highbore with 12. Corbin Heckman and Cameron Nearest both with 6 points.
All right, I mean, we kind of talked about it in terms of Cam, a little bit quieter, the other guys coming up and helping out, but I think for the Bulldogs, it's a game at the halfway point that it is the offensive baseline, I think, to some extent, where they want this team to be going forward. And what I mean by that is we know that the guard play is going to come, and they're going to continue to work on that guard play as we get our way down the stretch run in this season. But I do think that when you look at the forwards able to do what they did in that first half, and you've got shooting on the wing, you've got Heckman running the offense, Regnerus doing some scoring as well. That's where I think this Grandville offense is going to want to be. Is it doesn't. Cam Regnerus can take over, but they're going to be at their best when Cam Regnerus' main job is to draw doubles, get blocks, and get open dunks.
Yeah, I think that you see there in the first half that they've got a couple different pieces, and that can be a varied attack. It doesn't have to be strictly Regnerus taking the game over. They've got Highmore on the outside that when he's hitting shots like that can be an elite from the outside. You've got Neves, who also shooting from the outside on the wing, but also has that athletic ability, able to attack the basket and get to the rim. And so you kind of see those different levels that the Bulldogs present. And when all three of them are hitting like they were there in the first half, it is a complete attack.
Yeah, Farmers Insurance halftime show. Thanks, as always, to Centennial Securities and Farmers Insurance. To see each of them, whatever the angle is on the bottom of our screen on our ticker, all game long. See the first of the Bulldogs start to come out onto the floor and get their warm-up underway. So we're getting that much closer to the second half. 37-16 Grandville over Spring Lake at the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Michigan hearing experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Expert.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grsof.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Bulldogs leading 37-16 at the break. Here from Vanderslice Gymnasium, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, wrapping up our Farmers Insurance halftime show. It's one of those keys to the game segments when it is a 20-point game like this, that the keys to the game are a little different than what they may sometimes be when it's close. It's for Grandville, keep it up, keep shooting the basketball. And Spring Lake, I think forcing turnovers, getting some offensive looks off of that and changing the flow of the game, probably where the keys are going to sit. It's not as much of a game on the margins like last time.
No, for sure. I think we'll see right away if the Lakers are going to go back to their zone defense that we've talked quite a bit about, or if they're going to go to some of that man-to-man, maybe even some full-court pressure, try to really jumpstart their offense, get themselves going, and get some momentum. But, yeah, for the Bulldogs, things went pretty well in the first half. I think an opportunity for them to continue maybe a pretty deep rotation in the second half, get some minutes for some guys off the bench, and really for the first time all year, potentially have a game in the second half where they can get those guys in and get them some quality opportunities late in the game.
I mean, in particular, we saw a little bit of Carter Wade, the freshman who's dressed for the first time this evening, the highly talented transfer, I think getting some more looks for him as a guy that's going to be not just this year, but for next year and the year after. And the year after is going to be a part of this team and a key part of your backcourt, all critical. We'll switch sides. Grandville shoot coming towards us here in the corner of Vanderslice Gymnasium. Fresh 8 minutes on the board. Been all Grandville through the half. We'll see if the Dogs can keep this up as Spring Lake opens with a little bit of man-to-man type pressure right here. DeYoung feeding Cam Regnaris, working against the double, and Cam will travel and hand it over.
The double team coming there, and Cam recognizing it and then seeing that he's tall enough, he could go right over the top of it. But in the process of doing so, ended up dragging that foot and traveled as he was trying to go up and over top.
It'll be Jaden Corder on the offense. Drive from Schlepp, and a travel called on Schlepp. So all things even in that regard. Grandville takes it back over. We'll just call the first 2 possessions a wash.
Yeah, teams exchanging travels back and forth down the floor, and a tough start for both offenses out of the half.
Jackson DeYoung working against Core on the drive. Floater from the Bulldogs senior off the mark, but Hackman corrals the board. Highbor able to stare at it. Yeah, he's going to make that if you give him that sort of time and space. Another one for Colin Highbor. What a contest for him.
Yeah, Regnaris able to seal the defender there just inside the arc, allowed Highbor all the time that he needed to look that one down and didn't overthink it. Able to make it count.
15 now for Highbor. 40-16 Grandville. Core swing over for Schlepp. He'll drive and unable to get the 2. Had a good look at it. Staying with that one's Colin Burt. Bulldogs now will be able to take it. Depphaus will check in for Carson George. And Spring Lake traditionally out of what typically is kind of a matchup zone type look they bring to the table. Offensive foul called here on Neves will be our first of the second half. But this is a Spring Lake team, Chandler, that is known as being one of the best defensive teams year over year in the OK Conference, especially in the OK Blue where they play, where there are some really solid programs. Unity Christian and Holland Christian and Hamilton's been good for the last couple years, and others. I mean, they play in a really solid conference, and they have shown an ability to shut down teams, win districts doing that year over year, and it's what makes that much more impressive, Grandville offensively, and that's before you even get into some of the defensive work the Bulldogs have been able to do in this one. Drive from Schlepp. Here's Eli Morrison. Nice feed, but it's tipped around, and it'll be settled down by Jaden Core on the drive. Colin Burt tries the 3. Neves the high-reaching board.
The Lakers finally able to get the basketball down low underneath and work it all the way, but then had to go back out. The Bulldogs defense staying with the entire way. Ended up forcing a deep 3.
Regnaris on Morrison. Good move. He'll go to the line. I pity anyone that gets him one-on-one, even off the bounce this year. It's the number one thing in Cam's game that's kind of gone next level. We've seen it is no longer is it just attacking from the block. You can get him that basketball one-on-one from the wing, and there's a couple long spin moves, and then the dude takes, 15-foot strides that gets into the rim off one spin move just like that, and he'll convert the first at the stripe.
That continues to show a nice complement of moves. That time more in the mid-range, able to give a little fake spin one way, go back the other. It's tougher, especially when a smaller defender like that, to try to stay with.
That's 3 fouls on Morrison, by the way. He'll take a seat as the sophomore Ayers will come in his place. Ayers swing to the wing and up top for Depphaus. Worked down by Cam Regnaris. Burt. Ayers for Depphaus. Turns on Cam, blocked away, and Cam will get the Bulldogs the possession. He's able to spike that off a red jersey, and the Dogs will take it. It's been an interesting matchup. We've seen this. The point guard and the smallest guy on the floor, the ball handler, has been matched up with Cam Regnaris for a lot of this game. That seems to be the matchup that both these coaches have kind of been rolling with on that side of the floor. Neves, corner 3. Board to DeYoung. Possession will stay with Grandville as 4 rows up. Jaden Core went running to save the basketball. 5:04 in the third, 42-16.
Bulldogs have been able to capitalize off that a couple different times, having some length at multiple different positions there, understanding that off the offensive glass they're going to have some opportunities there, even though unable to secure the rebound initially, able to slap it and eventually get possession back.
DeYoung with a bunch of space, unable to knock that one down. And the board will get pushed down here to Colin Burt. DeYoung staying with that one. It'll stay, though, with Coach Corr's team. 4:42, third quarter.
Yeah, DeYoung defensively has been impressive early on, able to knock the basketball free a couple different times, led to some turnovers, and the offense getting up and rolling, and then right there, never quitting as well as the Lakers holding the ball in the corner, stays in the face, right, and able to poke it free out of bounds.
Xander Sorokin checks in for the Bulldogs. Pass held down there by Core to the corner. Giving on the curl to Schlepp. Good move around Neves, but can't get the finish. Bulldogs beat the pressure here on Highbore. Highbore, corner, Neves. He's got all the room in the world. Off the mark with this one. The board down to Burt. Schlepp, driving, travel.
Schlepp going to use the shot fake there, try to draw Regnerus out, and then was going to try to drive past him. Regnerus biting a little bit, taking a step out there. Then Schlepp went to put it on the deck, ended up moving the feet before able to dribble the basketball. Another turnover for the Lakers.
Here is Sorokin for the Bulldogs. Highbore against the pressure. To the corner, Vanderhart with space. And the Bulldogs able to knock down another triple. The sophomore Vanderhart gets on the board.
Everyone getting involved now. Vanderhart showing the ability to knock down the three ball earlier on in the season, the first couple games. Off the bench, able to add some scoring. Getting his first points of the game here in the third quarter.
Colin Burt up top for Ren Depphouse and around to Carson George. Into the paint, reverse layup, and a nice finish from Burt on the reach and the finish. Regnerus versus Burt. Cam with a 5-out offense here for the Dogs up top and swung back to Heckman with a little bit of space. Can't get the rattle. Burt in the lane, tough one, got it. Colin Burt back-to-back, really tough baskets going to the trees of the Bulldogs. He's been probably their most impressive offensive threat, especially in the second half so far.
Yeah, best set of consecutive possessions for the Lakers right there. Burt able to get the basketball close down underneath, able to get the tough reverse lay-in the first time. That time a little floater.
Highbore trying to answer. Rebound gets tipped down to Jaden Core. Push to George. Nice feed to Burt. He'll work in the post. He will go to the line. Foul will go on Xander Sorokin. 2:30 in the third, 45-20 Bulldogs. Second on Sorokin. I tell you, Sorokin, he's growing out his hair a little bit. He's got the number 0 on. And I tell you what, there are moments where, like, when they're going that way, I'm close to saying Tyson Mann sometimes. I hate to say it.
It is confusing a little bit, especially when seeing the younger man brother.
You're right.
Just in the JV game, and then you still early on in the season, it's tempting to think Tyson's still out there.
Burt unable to get that one to go. Rebound down to Connolly, and Sorokin saves it. I mean, if the Bulldogs can get the kind of play out of Sorokin that they got out of Tyson Mann for 2-3 years, I think they'll be very happy. Here's Vanderhart at 3. Nice rebound from Connolly. Ripped away from him by Carson George. They'll run the floor on to Liam Zanstra, who's out there for the first time. Ayers, the sophomore, able to just get that away. Zanstra blocked off the backboard by Regnerus. Coach Core wanted that to be a goaltend. He may have had a case as the Bulldogs run the length of the floor to Cam. He can't get the 2. And now Spring Lake will settle it down a little bit here on to Burt. No look feed to George. Back to Burt. 1:48 in the third. Corner with space. George off the mark. Board to Connolly. Push to Sorokin. Driving, floating, off the mark. Bulldogs are trying to go a little showtime right now. I don't know if there's any other way to describe it. Driving here off the mark for George. And Postman going to push it for the Bulldogs.
After most of the game played under control now, here's both these teams getting into the bench a little bit. They're starting to see up and down the floor pretty quick and some missed shots on both ends.
I mean, Coach Young's background, he came from Grand Rapids Christian. So if you saw what they did last night to Catholic Central as well, I mean, they pretty much controlled that game start to finish. That Christian team, which we saw against Hudsonville, I mean, they are looking like the best team in West Michigan. I think right now, at this point in the year, mid-range from Cam is off the mark. Burt will take it for Spring Lake. Inside 50 seconds all the way to the rack. He'll go to the line. I like some of the takes from Colin Burt. He definitely has looked very good in this this third quarter. You just see it. It was a game where things were a little off kilter from the beginning for Spring Lake. It's a team that they are at their best when it's in kind of a grinding game, and if it's close, they win it most of the time, and just chasing a lead, not necessarily something baked into their DNA a lot of the time, as Burt converts the first.
Yeah, the offense just really never getting into rhythm, never comfortable, never in a flow at all for the Lakers, and so it's kind of turned into a game where you just need someone to take over one-on-one, and Burt's been able to do that a little bit here in the third quarter. 6 points, opportunity for more.
Burt got that one. I just saw an update. Looks like was a 2-point lead, 32 to 30, I think, after 3 quarters. Hudsonville over South Christian. That game is at Cornerstone. I think we have it tonight. I think Bob Sack likely on the call of that one, so you're probably not watching us anymore through Michigan Sports Radio. You might have that game on. Turning in the lane, Connolly. Off the mark and the board, back the other way to the Lakers. This is Evan Wall. Drive from George, he'll pop it. Forward to Sorokin. Sorokin weaving against the pressure. He'll get over the timeline at 18. Sorokin looking for Postma. He will go Spring Lake's way.
Sorokin looked like he was caught between trying to drive to the right side and kick it out to the corner, and after taking a couple dribbles with the basketball and a couple steps, was going to try to dish it out and end up thrown out of bounds.
There's the big guy, Grimm, working, flinging it. Forward to Postma. He'll throw it 3/4 of the court and put it high off the backboard. No good. That'll do it for the first 3 quarters in this one. Don't go anywhere. We're right back here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize a portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Grandville. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Final quarter, 45-23. After 3, Grandville over Spring Lake here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. Lakers open. Tough one from Morrison off the mark. Colin Burt races to the board. Hands off for a flying Morrison, who will go to the line for one more. First time we've really seen him be able to get free offensively at all right there and show off a little bit of the talent that Eli Morrison brings to the table.
That first field goal for Morrison had 2 points, both coming at the free throw line after missing the first look off the offensive rebound, cutting towards the basket and getting rewarded for it.
So lead down to 19 as will be taken on here by Sorokin and the Bulldogs. Vanderhart. Connolly. Gibby pulling up from the free throw line, off the mark. Vanderhart flying to try to keep the board. Spring Lake will take it.
Connolly trying to get to mid-range, didn't want to shoot it from beyond the arc, had the space, used that dribble to step inside, and even though he missed it, able to get to the look he wanted.
Corner triple try, off the mark for Burt. Sorokin out of the trap will find Vanderhart. Vanderhart is tripped up, but he'll go out of bounds and no foul. It'll go Spring Lake's way.
The Bulldogs with their bench unit out there trying to continue to keep up some of the momentum they had. Got a 19-point lead. Only 8 points, though, scored there in that third quarter. Still outscored the Lakers 8-7, but
Zach Schlepp going to work and getting a couple more for Spring Lake. Postma. Connolly ripping it on the floor against Bird. It'll stay with Grandville on the alternating possession. First time the alternating possession's gone the Dogs' way in this one. Aiden Ayers, the sophomore, will check in here for Coach Bill Core and the Lakers, as Carson George will take a seat. Here's Connolly. Deep three for Vanderhart. Got it! He's shown some flashes, Chandler, and we've seen a couple in the second half, but we've seen some flashes out of Vanderhart where he knocks down tough shots like that. And speaking of tough shots, how about Zach Schlepp on the reverse through the contact? He'll go to the line. Spring Lake's offense has woken up a little bit in this this fourth quarter, but let's start on that Vanderhart point making first. I mean, he shows flashes as a shooter, as a ball handler, as a defender out of the sophomore that has looked really good in his minutes on the floor.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to continue to grow into a pretty important role for the Bulldogs off the bench. Right away, the first couple games of the season, knocking down some big shots, doing it again here tonight, and that's something the Bulldogs will take all season long, to have a scoring threat off the bench like that.
Schlepp able to complete the three-point play. Here's Vanderhart, defended by Morrison. Postma. He'll direct some traffic and reset things. Boston Postma thought about the step back. Feeds for Sorokin. Sorokin getting space. Following the lead blocker, Terry, along the baseline. Driving to the basket, Postma snags his own rebound. Out of the trap for Vanderhart. Throws it over to Terry. The big guy will try it from mid-range. Falls short. I like the little sequence along the baseline. They ran, essentially they had a lead blocker, and Terry kind of leaned the way on through as a fullback. Fight for this ball, and a foul will get called on Landon Terry. So he got tied up with his foul number 42, Ayers. It's the third on Terry. Corbin Hackman will check in for Connolly. Lobbed for Morrison in the paint. And he'll be able to duck and finish around the defense from Postma. Down to 15 points here. Vanderhart, Sorokin. Sorokin with pace, trying to attack to the rim. Can't get the finish. Schlepp feeding over to Burt. Burt baseline drive, hangs and goes to the line. I think they'll whistle Postma for this. They will. 4 on the Bulldogs and 3 on Postma.
Looks like Coach Young, too, going to get some of the starters back out there. Agneris, Neves, Hybor all slated to check back in as this unit's got quite a bit of run, and game's starting to get a little bit closer. Still some work to do for the Lakers to get completely back in it, but down to 14 after that free throw.
Burt unable to convert the second. Sorokin will stay out there along with Heckman. So that's the rest of the starters outside of Sorokin instead of DeYoung out there. And Heckman is run into and fouled by Schlepp from behind. 4.5 in the fourth, 48-34. That's the first on Schlepp. Coach Burt wants a full timeout. We'll stay with you through this timeout. And of course, again, thanks to Centennial Securities and Farmers Insurance, presenting sponsors of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. I say it all the time, but I really mean it. They, of course, help make it happen. We thank them not just for their longtime support of Game Night, but also their support of the communities, local athletics. If you're a frequenter to Michigan Game Night, your company might have interest in joining on, feel free to get in contact with us. And I mean, we've got email. My phone number is on our website. And any other way that you can get in touch with us. We certainly love to get a chance to work with a ton of local companies and have some things working there going forward as well. So keeping all that in mind, if you are a frequenter to Michigan Game Night and Bulldogs basketball or football or anything else that we do here on Game Night, certainly would love to have you and your company come on and be a part of our kind of unique brand way that we are able to present things. And you know, I certainly think that Centennial and Farmers would speak to the style of coverage and exposure they get with, you know, logos always on screen, and the presenting sponsorship model that we do is certainly something that I think stands out, and we're proud to be able to have Centennial and Farmers on our side. Here is Sorokin out of the corner, out of the timeout. Regneris out of the double. Hybor. Bulldogs finding the open man in Neves, and he's off the mark. Cam gets the board against the double to the corner for Heckman. Cam again is grabbed and fouled. They'll get Burt. We'll argue his case. That's the first on Burt and the second on Spring Lake this quarter. 48-34 Bulldogs, 4:10 to go. They'll lob in to Cam. He'll turn the back on Burt. Regneris. Burton's trying to draw the offensive foul. Another one coming for Cam, who gets taken out from behind by Morrison. And Cam will get some help back to his feet here.
Yeah, I can see that one was setting up to be
you think?
A little bit ugly as Burt hit the floor initially. He was trying to get the charge called. The whistle, they're not blown, and Regneris kind of hesitant to go up with the shot because he had Burt laying underneath his feet. After the miss, gets his rebound, but then got more Lakers flying in, trying to block his shot potentially, and just a lot of contact, and Regneris able to sustain it.
Cam been taking the contact in this game. Obviously, he had the blood. I think he's bleeding again right now, by the way, but he had the bloody nose earlier and the bloodied face earlier. Now he's back at the line off that contact. He'll go 1 of 2, and he'll stay out there. Schlepp feeding to Burt. Here's Morrison. Good, tough one in the lane from Morrison. Got it to go.
That's some of the Morrison that we expected to see coming into this game. Had trouble getting into it. Only had 2 points at halftime, but rebounding here in the fourth quarter. He's got 7 points. Able to find a little bit of a rhythm himself.
Sorokin trying to find Regneris. He'll stay with the Bulldogs. Last touch by Ayers. Young will come in. Each of the crowds are active tonight, I can tell you that much, based on individual things we can hear. Hybor trying to feed Regneris, stolen away. He's just a little sloppy right now for Grandville. This is the Spring Lake defense that we really hyped up so much, and for good reason. Cam Regneris is fouled. They'll get Burt. 4 fouls now on either team. Second on Burt.
Yeah, it was the line the Bulldogs and Coach Young were trying to walk a little bit, is trying to get a lot of minutes for some guys that haven't seen a ton throughout the course of the season. But now you've also found yourself in a situation, the Lakers able to cut the lead enough where you've got your starting unit back out there.
Cam Regneris goes to the line. Foul will be on Burt, his third, 5th on the team. I think Regneris is pretty confidently just looking to catch bodies on his way to the rim. Right now, he wants contact one way or another. That's one thing we've seen in Cam in the last couple of years is his aggressiveness as a player certainly is the number one thing that's picked up, and it's been a big part of his growth. Unable to hit either at the line, but Nev's the board. Highbor into some space. Got another one. Boy, what a silky jumper he's got. He's shown it off tonight, 52-36 Bulldogs.
Just confidently stepping into that one off the rebound from Neves. They're able to get the pass and a lot of space.
Bird off the mark, board down to Heckman. He'll push to Neves. Zone back out right here. Working for the Lakers, and some miscommunication between Highborn and Regneris will turn it over. As we'll see a line change for Spring Lake. So maybe a little bit of, not the white flag from Coach Core, but certainly at least a complete change of unit from him right here as they'll get Depphouse and company in. Bulldogs will counter with some changes of their own. Carter Wade and Ethan Sheely finding their way onto the floor. 2:23 to go. Evan Wall working against Neves. Reaching around Neves for the big guy, Grimm. Hands back off, and that one tipped around away from Wall. Bulldogs will take it with Cam Regneris. Wade, wing, triple try. Got it. First points for the freshman, like that.
Yeah, I think reason to be optimistic there as well, showing the three-point shot for Wade, getting some more playing time late in this one.
Nice play right there from Wade. He'll get the steal, takes it coast to coast in the finish. Like that for Carter Wade, his first flashes in varsity play.
Yeah, I think big late in this one with the game mostly in the balance, able to get some minutes and then get his first points, make things smooth as the game and as his career goes along.
He'll get his first foul as well. Both teams into the bonus as Liam Zanstra, the senior guard, will go to the line. Grimm whips in the rebound, or the keep, and Listman is able to finish off the miss. Single number 54 out there, our old friend Ben Koopman, one of the last players I've actually seen at the high school high school level, Hamilton class of 2016, to wear a number in the mid-50s, so high as you can go. Shout out to seeing that number on the floor again.
Bring back some old memories right there.
The greatest 3-18 basketball team in the history of Michigan high school basketball.
We did have some electric moments on the air.
We did.
The wins were not so much, but
the two wins we were on the air for, and they were electric. 57-40 in this one. Back to the present day, and stepping outside 2015, 2016. 1:17 to go. The Bulldogs looking to wrap it up. Grandville going to go to 3-1 on the season. Spring Lake will fall to 2-2 on the campaign. Carter Wade with 115, defended here by Liam Zanstra. Vanderhart will try a deep one. Vinnie Bergman, to an applause, comes in for Vanderhart. So last man off the Bulldog bench is out there. We go inside a minute. Wall. Turning in the paint. Listman off the mark. Race to this one. The big guy, Grimm, saves it to the Bulldogs. And Wade, 40 seconds. There's Perry. Wade. Crowd wants Vinnie Bergman and nothing else as the option here. Wade will go to the line, though, as he's able to draw a couple defenders.
Both the student section and the Bulldogs bench there encouraging them to swing the basketball, hollering that out, trying to get him to get it out to Bergman for a chance to get a shot up. But I think Carter Wade probably had that in mind as he was driving to the left side. He was going to kick it out to him, but fouled before he could do so.
More coming, and Carter transfer. You go back to our coach's corner interview. Coach Wade talked a lot about some of the potential with this kid once he's going to be ready to go, as he obviously now is ready to go. But transfer from, I believe, Langsburg. Coach Young mentioned finding his way to Grandville, starting with this season. Bulldogs effectively hit the portal this offseason, adding Wade and Neves. And a couple of guys that got a couple of years of eligibility as well. Bulldogs will take it over here on the out of bounds, 12.8. All right, 9 seconds. It looks like Wade will dribble it out and let the ball game go final. A complete performance from the Bulldogs for certain this evening. 58-40, the final. The Bulldogs, they go to 3-1 on the year. Spring Lake drops their second game of the year. They go 2-2 on this early campaign. All right, CT, first thoughts, break it down. Like we said, most complete performance of the year, I'd have to say, out of the Bulldogs, both sides of the floor, especially against such a top-level opponent, a reigning district champion.
Yeah, I think so. I think really the hot start was huge for the Bulldogs, getting the Lakers uncomfortable, forcing them out of their defense that can cause some issues, and also forcing their offense out of rhythm on the defensive end on their own right. So I think able to get off to a really good start after a tough loss in their last time out, and important that they were able to get out right away, get some momentum, and then ride that out throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, 58-40 the final. The Bulldogs shot the ball incredibly well. Their defense, especially in the first half, certainly was as good as I think we've seen that defense look this year. You know, even in contests where maybe there were fewer points scored against, like East Grand Rapids, against this really talented offensive unit that Spring Lake brings to the table. I think the most complete performance, and the offense, certainly in a little bit slower pace game compared to the Unity Christian game, at least, right up there for their best performance. Shot the ball. It was a game of, we've seen these individual pieces, great defense against EGR, great offense and full court play against Unity Christian. Some inconsistent shot making here and there against FHC. Kind of the first time for Grandville they put all of those pieces together into one basketball game.
Yeah, you're starting to see that development. I mean, it's just the fourth game of the season, but you're starting to see what started off as some bursts and some minutes and parts of quarters to now you see that it start to be extended to pretty much a complete game. Of course, the starting unit not out there from most or much of the second half, but still an impressive performance up and down the lineup card there and what they were able to do tonight.
All right, 58-40, Grandville over Spring Lake. We're going to quick step aside, be right back with some stats, some awards, and get you out of here. Big week of Bulldogs basketball on MGN. It's the Bulldogs visiting the Bulldogs Friday night. Byron Center comes to town. That'll be one heck of a ball game. Grandville winners here over Spring Lake. A lot more to get to from this one.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to Music Jams Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Vanderslice Gymnasium, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, working our way through our Centennial Securities post-game show. 58-40, Grandville goes to 3-1 on the Young campaign. CT, get us our scoring recap from this one.
All right, for the Lakers, Schlepp led the way with 11 points, and Morrison with 9, Burt with 8, Depphaus and Ayers with 3, and George and Grimm each with 2 points, or Listman, sorry, rather, with 2 points. For the Bulldogs, leading all scorers tonight, Colin Hybor, 18 points, Neves with 13, and it was Regniers with 9, and then a bunch of scorers had 6. Wade with 6, Heckman with 6, and Vanderhart with 6 points.
All right, so there's your scoring. And again, Grandville 3-1 on this Young campaign. Let's do some words. Let's get out of here. Let's start with our Farmers Insurance play of the game. Couple options. Let's go to Cam Regneris back in the first half, though. He had the gimme that play, just kind of stole a shot away, ran down the length of the floor himself, was able to get some points out of it as well. So a big moment there from Cam Regneris, and we'll give the Bulldogs senior the play of the game. Otherwise, a lot of three-pointers that kind of made up the Bulldogs' offense today.
Yeah, that sequence right there just kind of showed what Cam Regneris is and what he's been throughout his career, especially this season. The play on the defensive end, blocking the shot, steal, whatever you want to call it, able to get the basketball and then just take it himself, able to finish down on the other end of the floor.
I'm still giving him a steal and a block.
Okay,
I think he deserves both in
both.
my official record book. Centennial Securities winning game plan of the game. I think it was more of the general way the Bulldogs played, not one specific thing to look at. I think I like the Grandville rotation, and I think in particular it was a good move by Coach Young today to get some of the younger players out there, get them in situations where, especially a lot of times, he'd put all 4 starting forwards out with with a different point guard running the offense. We saw some of Wade and some of Sorokin, and then some of DeYoung and some of Vanderhart, and he would kind of get that. It was a really good game for Grandville down the stretch of they were feeling comfortable on the whole. So let's start experimenting. Here's some different looks, and he was able to stick with what worked, moved away from what didn't. So I think the second half, some of the work with the guards and the different lineups, a good job of starting to look at, all right, what's coming next for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you don't always get the chance to do that in game like this, and throughout the first 3 games of the season, they've been close and down to the wire, and so you're pretty much playing your starting rotation, your normal rotation of guys out there and trying to win the basketball game, of course. But tonight with the game mostly in the balance and the big lead in the second half, able to get some bench players in there, get some minutes for some guys that hadn't been playing a ton, and kind of work on that. And of course, it's kind of fluid, that rotation as the season goes along. You're trying to build some confidence and the chemistry between those guys, and they're able to do so.
Yeah, and again, this is a Spring Lake team that they do things a little bit funkier, defensively with their zone, and they do things a little bit differently. So I think a really positive point on that for Grandville, that you get those units in there, and they're doing it against a tricky and an elite defense as well, where they're going to be able to learn more things down the stretch. The Rainbow Grill in Grandville is open 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Saturday. You get half a sandwich and a side for $9.09 from 11 to 2 daily. On Wednesdays, it is Wet Burrito Wednesdays from 11 to 2. They present our Player of the Game award, and again, first half, Caden Neves led the Bulldogs, had 13 points. He was great, but 18 for Colin Hybor again. Great first game, had 18 points to open the year. Had, 13, 15 in there as well then against Unity Christian. Kind of slowed last game, mostly because he got, punched in the face. And then things were a little bit slower after that against F8C. And we're certainly learning that getting punched in the face was the outlier game, because, boy, he has been really good, and this was as good as we've seen out of Hybor yet.
Yeah, I think important for the Bulldogs that they responded from that last game, but also for Hybor individually, that after a tough showing. But yeah, I think you're seeing that there were some circumstances there that he was battling through that were forcing him to be just a little bit off, and rightfully so in that situation. But I think an important rebound for him right away, early on, knocked down a couple threes, carried that throughout the course of the game, ended up with 6 triples, and just a really good performance from Hybor.
And tough play as well, not his biggest day offensively, but Cam Regnier, speaking again, punched in the face. He got punched in the face like 3 times and kept going inadvertently in those cases. But he took a couple of tough ones as well. This is a big Grandville team. It's a physical team, and they certainly have shown that. All right, let's do a little mini preview because Friday is going to be something. So when Grandville saw Byron Center last time, Camden Corral, their D1 top-level prospect, was not in, their big centerman. So we didn't get to see that matchup versus Cam Ragnaris. We'll get to see that Friday. Last year, these two teams, certainly Grandville Byron Center, did not like each other. It was a game, you unfortunately weren't there. That was one of the games you missed on the stretch run of the season. It was intense. It was, we were talking about Tyson Mann earlier. He in particular was in the middle of things. Grandville have to find who is going to be their Tyson Mann to get in it a little bit against the opponent out there against Byron Center. Two teams, again, they don't like each other. It's a rivalry. It's a backyard, Bulldog rivalry. You can say all you want. I cannot wait till 6:30 Friday. That it's going to be quite a ball game. I think it's two of the best teams in West Michigan, that don't like each other, that's proven they don't like each other. It's going to be a great ball game, physical ball game on Friday.
Yeah, I think so. Another test for this Grandville team, and one that they get to carry that over from late in last year to then getting the opportunity early in this season. That, of course, all these players that were there for that are going to remember that one, and definitely one that, even though still another non-conference game, one that they're both going to be looking forward to and ready to roll, I'd expect.
All right, that'll do it for tonight. 58-40. Grandville goes to 3-1 on the year. Spring Lake will fall to 2-2 to begin their young campaign to open this season. We'll be back with you, like I said, Friday, 6:30, wherever you're tuned in tonight. We'll be right back. Video coverage will be a great one. Grandville, Byron Center, back here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. For Chandler Timmer and everyone at Michigan Game Night and Michigan Sports Radio, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. We'll see y'all Friday night right back here on Game Night.